we actually like to look at it too on a rolling 12-month basis, and that's at a 23-year low. And a lot of people point out on retail sales, well, it's the Amazon effect, but we'd point out a couple key points as well. One of them being the motor vehicle sales, which plunged about 20% year over year, and the building products, which is down about 14%. And obviously you don't order that stuff off the internet. So there's a lot more going on underneath in the domestic economy than just the internet effect, we would suggest.
So you've stated in your report a stagnant economy, a declining population, and a rising tax burden.
Yeah, I think that's really kind of putting a lot of pressure domestically. We also like to look at moves and containers on the docks, and one of the figures that we feel gives a better indication of the general overall population is the refrigerated container moves, or what we call reefers, and they're down about 2% as well. So again, that indicates something underneath that's not just simply internet or whatever other excuses are being used. It just seems like the general economy is pretty soft at this point.
So the airport, new airport, the St. Regis Hotel, and a few other construction projects have made the shipping, reefer numbers stronger than they would have been.
The main thing we're seeing on freight is retail sales is obviously hurting the freight numbers, but we call them special projects. Construction-related activity has been very strong this year with those projects you just mentioned and a couple others, and if we look at overall freight numbers, they're flat this year, which is quite remarkable when you look at what's happening with retail sales. I guess the concern would be, as those projects roll off over the next, they'll all be done within 15 months. Then, we need to get some sort of growth that replaces the capital spending numbers. So if you look at the first 2 quarters of this year, we had more than 3% GDP growth in Bermuda, but household spending was down. So what you end up seeing is those projects have had a very positive impact on the local economy.
Yeah, we try to do some work in one of our latest pieces, trying to strip out the special projects, special construction, and it does obviously move the GDP number back quite a bit. So that has been a general driver of what's happening in the economy, and that's what kind of really gives us a little bit of concern going into 2020 is, what's going to replace a lot of this economic activity we've been the beneficiary of recently.
Aren't they also looking to put in a minimum wage, that will increase the cost, won't it, for local businesses?
It could. And they are in the process of calculating that and coming up with that figure. So that is a pretty important figure for retailers and restaurateurs and the hospitality industry, for example. So yeah, that figure is going to be pretty important in terms of determining what that cost basis is going to be for the local employers. So yeah, it's critical. But there's no number set yet, but that will be important. Yeah.